Once a bride glides down the aisle in layers of lace, silk, and tulle, her majestic white gown rarely sees the light of day again. It has its moment in the spotlight, only to be carefully tucked away in the depths of a wardrobe, or for the less sentimental, passed on to a new home. It's even rarer for a wedding dress to be worn again by the woman who first said, "I'm doing it." But that's not a rule Kelly Ripa has ever felt compelled to follow. Kelly and Mark Consuelos tied the knot in 1996 when they eloped in Las Vegas a year after meeting on the set of the soap opera All My Children. They went on to welcome 3 kids, Michael, Lola, and Joaquin. During an interview with People, Kelly revealed that she often recycles her off-the-rack wedding dress from Barney's, New York. "I took the tags off to wear it to our wedding, and I wear it all the time now as a beach cover-up," she shared, adding that the piece cost her a lot of money at the time. In fact, the garment was never intended to be used as a wedding dress when the TV star first purchased it. "I didn't buy it as a wedding dress. I just bought it because it was really pretty," said Kelly during an episode of Live back in 2016. The dress had an under $200 price tag and was acquired by Kelly while she was working on the soap opera All My Children. "I said to myself, I bet if I buy this, maybe it will be an investment piece. Maybe I will wear it more than once," she added. It turns out Kelly's foresight was correct, as she wore the white slip dress during her 20th anniversary getaway with Mark. The wedding dress featured a sleeveless design with delicate spaghetti straps and a figure-hugging silhouette. The entire gown was adorned with intricate lace detailing and finished with a graceful, floor-sweeping hem. Due to its wearable design, the bridal number has been easily reinvented by Kelly on vacations as a simple summer dress. Despite her flair for experimenting with her fashion, Kelly knows what items she stays clerk from on her sartorial agenda. "There are so many things that I just can't or won't wear. I'm literally making a list in my head. I really try not to, at this age, wear mini skirts, and especially since I spend most of my time sitting in a stool or a desk, I try to wear longer skirts," she told People. "Today was a special occasion. Lola asked me to put on the skirt she's wearing, and I said, I just cannot. Simply cannot. Past a certain age, you gotta know when to hang up your disco shoes." Also featured in this little fashion parable, Mark Consuelos, Barney's, New York, the soap that starred at All My Children, the magazine that asked the question People, the show where she told the story live, and the 3 small reasons she sometimes thinks twice before a skirt: Michael, Lola, and Joaquin. When you picture a wedding dress, you imagine a single glorious moment. The aisle, the lights, the way everyone holds their breath. For most of us, the gown is a capsule of that day, sentimental, sacred, and then folded away into a closet or passed on. But some garments refuse to stay in boxes. They have a practical stubbornness to them, a secret life waiting to be discovered. This is the story of one such dress, an off-the-rack slip that cost under $200, and the woman who refused to let it be merely ceremonial. She bought the dress on a whim, when her life was the kind that moves fast and without fanfare, working on a daytime soap, learning how to act in front of cameras and how to stand in commitment to long schedules, meeting people between takes, falling in love in a way that felt like a script but was very much real. The dress was the kind of thing you might find in the middle of a department store rack: soft silk, delicate lace at the neckline, spaghetti straps like a hint rather than a statement. It was pretty. It fit. It made her feel like herself. She joked later that she bought it because she thought she might wear it again. She was right. On the day, she and her partner walked toward a slightly different life, an elopement in neon-lit Las Vegas rather than a cathedral. She slipped into the white slip. It was simple and honest. It fit the mood of 2 people who wanted a private promise more than a production. Later, when anniversaries came and children multiplied and the cameras continued to roll, the dress kept showing up in unexpected places: an anniversary getaway, a summer afternoon, a last-minute trip to the coast. There is a reason certain pieces become go-to items in someone's wardrobe. They are honest companions. They do not demand dramatic accessories or complicated upkeep. They respond to the sun and the salt, to the quick pack and the spontaneous swim. They look as good with old sneakers and a cardigan as they do with a small heel and a carefully chosen pair of earrings. The dress in question had that sort of flexible personality. On a midsummer morning, when the children were still sleep-heavy and the coffee smelled as if the entire house had been promised a slower pace, she pulled the dress from its hanger. It had been returned to circulation after a year in a closet, not out of forgetfulness, but because lives shift, and sometimes the right outfit for a small, joy-filled moment is the simplest one. She paired it with an oversized linen shirt she left open, a pair of sunglasses that had seen better beachside sails, and a straw bag that knew all the secrets of the shoreline. She stepped onto the sand and, for the first stretch of the day, pretended there was no television set waiting for her back in the city. A beach doesn't ask you to be polished. It asks you to be true to the rhythm of the tide. The dress, once the center of a ceremony, became a cover-up and a midday slip dress with equal grace. When the wind caught the hem, the lace at the bottom breathed like an exhale. The thin straps rested against shoulders that had grown used to motherhood and public life, a peculiar scrutiny that comes with both. The dress did not try to hide anything. Instead, it sat on her like a small, confident hello. That afternoon, the simple ensemble created a style narrative that read as quietly radical. The woman who married in Vegas in a purchased slip had decided that marriage, fashion, and memory need not be boxed. She rewore the dress because convenience met beauty met sentiment, and because she thought, perhaps correctly, that a garment's most honest purpose was to be useful. The genius of the look was not in flashy reinvention. It was in the restraint. Instead of retooling the dress into an ornate new gown or keeping it locked away as an untouchable relic, she fashioned it into a piece that made sense for her life now. Days filled with school drop-offs, live television cues, and family dinners. She added a worn denim jacket at dusk, a pair of simple gold hoops when the cameras were on, and sometimes, when she wanted to feel like the woman who had first bought it, a low-heeled sandal and a soft wave in her hair. Each choice made the dress less of a costume and more of a friend. People who witnessed this, neighbors, fans, a careful photographer, misread it at first as thrift or novelty. They could not imagine a celebrity opting for such a small gesture of reuse over the endless rotation of custom pieces. But the more often the dress appeared on afternoons and vacations, the clearer the message became. Fashion doesn't owe anything to spectacle. At its most persuasive, fashion simply fits the life it's meant to accompany. There is also a lesson in the economics of it. Spending less than $200 on a piece that becomes a wardrobe hero complicates the whole cult of investment dressing. For all the talk about investment pieces meant to be worn for years, the real investment is in the choices that make a garment wearable. When you buy something you genuinely enjoy, you extract far more value from it over time than a pricier item that lives in a box. The dress was proof, under $200 can be genius. The narrative that forms around this reuse has its own particular charm. A celebrity who could commission gowns and couture instead chooses to recycle the one thing that marked a major life event. That choice reframed what it means to honor an occasion. The dress honored the wedding not by remaining untouched, but by continuing to be part of the couple's daily life. It was a living relic, folded into family rituals and mundane joys. It bore saltwater as well as dance floor glitter, sunscreen smears, as well as the faint scent of perfume from special nights. When you watch someone make pragmatic decisions about memory, you see a curious bravery. There is something almost defiant in not performing grief over a bygone self, but instead letting that self continue. The dress, modest, washable, unpretentious, carried on being itself while being repurposed into this woman's modern uniform. If marriage is a promise to move forward together, Then wearing the dress again in small ways is a promise to carry the past lightly, not as an anchor, but as a tether sweet enough to tug you home.